Hello, welcome to another installment of lectures for Intro to Building Systems at Portland Community College. In this set of lectures, I'll be discussing daylighting design. Daylighting is the practice of placing windows, skylights, or other openings and reflective surfaces so that sunlight, whether direct or indirect, can provide effective internal lighting. Particular attention is given to daylighting when designing a building, when the aim is for the reduced use of artificial or electric lighting, or from passive solar heating. Artificial lighting energy use can be reduced by simply installing fewer electric lights where daylight is present, or by automatically dimming or switching off electric lights in response to the presence of daylight, a process which is known as daylight harvesting. These two slides are from a building in Barcelona that was designed by Antoni Gaudí in the early part of the 20th century. It is an apartment building called Casa Batlló, Batlló, and it was designed to take advantage of daylight as well as passive cooling. The other thing that I wanted to mention about this, the central atrium that we see on the left-hand side is tiled, and that helps reflect light that's at the top of the atrium. There's a stairwell that goes around this, as well as an elevator, and all of the circulation then has daylight that is part of the process. And as you go up, the light gets lighter, as you can imagine. The image on the right-hand side is the attic spaces where the domestic help would live, and the shapes of it are defined by what are called catenary curves, which describe the shape that a structure needs to be as strong as possible. And there are windows in between, and the shape is made out of plaster and very reflective. Full spectrum daylight is very beneficial to people. This image being the Frank Lloyd Wright house, the Gordon house that is down in Silverton. And Frank Lloyd Wright was also somebody who was very interested in designing to maximize daylight and to have an indoor-outdoor connection. Scientists at the Lighting Research Center have reported that day-lit environments increase occupant productivity and comfort and provide the mental and visual stimulation necessary to regulate human circadian rhythms. So again, the examples to the left and to the right are in Barcelona, Antoni Gaudí, using daylight and passive ventilation, and in the center is the Gordon House in Silverton, Oregon, open to the public. It's a Usonian house, which was Frank Lloyd Wright's movement towards affordable housing, designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, the only Frank Lloyd Wright structure in Oregon. An advantage of daylighting, as I mentioned, is reduced energy bills. Electric lighting in buildings consumes more than 15% of all electricity generated in the United States, according to the U.S. Department of Energy and the U.S. Energy Information Association. Spaces that are outfitted with daylight sensing controls can reduce the energy used for electric lighting by 20 to 60%. We use numbers and calculations when we are looking at daylighting. Numbers provide concise scientific information about building design and performance. Some of the numbers come from building codes, such as the building code requirement of 8% of a floor area for glazing to provide daylight, and the building code requirement of 4% of the floor area for operable portion of a window to provide ventilation. Some other numbers come from best practices.